Have you ever had a student who struggled with spelling? If so, you are not alone. In fact, one of the most common questions we get when talking to other teachers and literacy interventionists, and even parents, is how we can best support spelling because it is such a tricky process. Spelling is hard. It requires students to make several connections. They need to hear the word correctly and be able to break it down into individual sounds, identify what those sounds are, connect that to letters or phonogram patterns that will help make those sounds, and then they need to think about any applicable phonics rules that apply to that word. This is a complex process. And so today, we want to share with you a strategy we've used with hundreds of students over the years to help make spelling more manageable and a lot easier for them. Hi, my name's Michaela from Ascend Smarter Intervention, where we make research-based instruction easy and accessible. Today, I wanted to share with you our Scoop spelling strategy, which we use to help simplify the spelling process. In this strategy, we break spelling down into 4 simple steps. Step 1 is scoop our syllables. What I mean when I say scoop our syllables is they're going to draw a scoop for every syllable they hear in a word. This is really helpful because it helps relieve the anxiety around spelling longer words because it signals to them that they don't have to sound out the word in its entirety all at once. Instead, they can focus on one small piece of the word at a time. That brings us into step 2, which is to mark each sound you hear in the word. Students can mark these sounds with a dot, or they can use a counter chip or a Unifix cube, whatever makes the most sense for you and your students. They can do this one syllable at a time. For example, if breaking down the word basketball, they can start by breaking out the sounds they hear in that first syllable, bass, then move on to ket, and then move on to ball. It is important to note here that we are going off of sounds, not letters. So when tapping out ball, while we have 4 letters in that syllable, we only hear 3 sounds, and that's what we want to mark. When we start pairing letters to these sounds, that's where phonics knowledge is going to come in and different spelling rules will apply. The third step is optional, but we have seen it be really helpful for some of our students. And this is to mark what types of sounds they hear. This is going to be helpful because it can help signal to them if they have a vowel in each of their syllables, which we know we need. We'll have them mark consonants in blue and vowels in red, so that they can see if every syllable has that necessary vowel. As students become more advanced, they can use additional colors to help mark other types of patterns. For example, we'll use purple to indicate a bossy R or an R-controlled pattern. We'll use green to mark prefixes and suffixes. And this is helpful because often these types of patterns have additional phonics rules attached to them that students will need in order to spell the word correctly. The final step is also an optional step, but this is where we would have students identify what types of syllables are present in their words. This can be helpful to know if it's a closed syllable or a vowel consonant E syllable, because we sometimes have additional phonics rules that will be present in these different syllables as well. For example, at the end of a closed syllable, if we hear k and it's right after a short vowel, we will use a CK like in kick instead of a K like in milk. In this other example, case, it's helpful to recognize that this is a vowel consonant E or magic E syllable, because with that phonics knowledge, we recognize that we need something there to help the A make its long sound. With knowledge of VCE syllable types, we know that the E will be silent, but it can help make that A long. In this video, you see this spelling process in action. You see us scooping syllables, identifying how many sounds we hear, and then using color-coded letter tiles to spell the word before writing it all out. This combines all of those different steps together so that we are able to see how this process works. You can also see us using some affixes and letter tiles to represent prefixes and suffixes there as well. You can complete this spelling process on a whiteboard or on paper. If you are interested in learning more about how you can get the colored letter tiles and grapheme magnets that we showed, or any of those spelling worksheets that we showed in the video, I'll link to both in the description below. I'll also link to a blog with more information in case you are interested in reading more about this scoop spelling process. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to our channel so you are the first to know when we post new videos with tips, tricks, and resources we've used over the years with our own students. If you have questions, be sure to drop them in the comments below. I'll also link to a free resource you can grab in the description, so go ahead and check that out as well.